My name is Yehudit Yerushalmi-Terris, and I'm almost 81 years old. I was born in Czernowitz, in Bukovina. It's in the north of Romania. It was in north of Romania. Now it's Ukraine since 1944. And I'm a Holocaust survivor. And my parents had a German education. They studied in the university and they spoke fluently German in this area as Austro-Hungarian citizens. And then as it became Romanian, it started to talk Romanian. I remember one thing, that when I went to the kindergarten, a person there came and said to me, "You are Jewish." She's a Jewish. I was discriminated in the kindergarten. There was a theft in the class. What I mean, a certain pencil, a special pencil, disappeared, and I was accused. I didn't. And what happened then? I went to the schoolmaster, and I told her, but she knew me, and she couldn't believe that And then they found the pencil by another student, in the pocket of the other student. But the first was because I'm a Jew. They accused me that I took the pencil. The war started in our region, 1941. We have been sent to the camps in Transnistria. I was outside the house once in a village in Ukraine. I stood with other children, and a group of 3 soldiers, German soldiers, came in the courtyard. And as I was with more darker hair, the others have been blonde, he asked me, "Are you Jewish?" One of the soldiers. And I stood and he asked me in German. As a child of 6 years, I didn't know what to answer. If I'll answer in German, he will ask me, "How do you know German? The others speak only Ukrainian or Russian. So you are Jewish." So I stood and I nod my head like this, and I was mute. And they went. This was like a trauma for me. As Israel gained independence, we asked for leaving Bucharest. But until we got the permission, it was already 1950, in January, I heard that Romania was paid by Israel for every capita of us. So we have been paid to go out from Romania. That's the reason that we got the permission. My father said, "Enough is enough. I'm going to Israel. I'm going to my country." We were happy, the happiest people in the world, to come to Israel. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because the people here didn't too much understand us. The Israelis, yes, they couldn't understand the capacity of the Holocaust. I never spoke with my children, with my kids. They didn't know my story. until one of the grandchildren, Chen, came to me and asked me to do work for the school they have been asked to do, to tell the story of their grandparents, of their family, and the Holocaust. The newcomers didn't know about things like you come to a new country. So if they have been blamed that they are cowards, how could they survive the Holocaust? They didn't really understand what happened. And the population in Israel was 600,000. And in a short time, like 2-3 years, they doubled the population, and even more. More than a 1.5 million came in a short time. They didn't let us to bring from Romania anything. We had a small suitcase for 3 people. My father, my mother, and myself, one small suitcase. That was all our property in the world. People from Morocco came, from North Africa came, and they spoke French. And I was very happy, and I spoke French with them. I didn't speak Hebrew. But as we left, after 8 months, 10 months, we left the camp, and we went to real life. I had to study Hebrew. Then I needed the Hebrew. Yeah. But beneath the roof of the Jewish nest, there have been problems. We felt strange a little bit because we didn't know the language. We didn't know that culture of the culture. I don't mean the culture from the Bible. I mean the culture of the people living in Israel. We had to study. We had to absorb the mood of the people and the culture of the people. For many years, I felt like a stranger. I felt different. Only you can make this change in me. When you hold my hand, I understand the magic that you do. I'm lucky that I could manage and make a living. With my parents too. My father was after slavery work. He worked so hard. But my mother was less. She really suffered. She couldn't adapt herself to life here in Israel. For her it was difficult. My father was more flexible to absorb and he knew Hebrew before. He studied in the Cheder, and as a young boy, in the tradition of Jewish people, they had to study a little in the Hebrew. But my mother didn't. I married an Israeli who was born in Leipzig. But he was 3 years old when they came to Israel in the 1933. So he was he could tell about Israel, and it was for me like to understand more the country. Then I had 2 children, and they went to school. And I had to help them in the school, and I had to study with them the whole Bible and whatever. And myself too, I studied here. So I adapt myself to Israel, and I'm now an Israeli, I feel like an Israeli. I am an Israeli, and I have my children, my grandchildren, and I'm like every citizen in every country. I'm happy that I could survive the Shoah, the Holocaust, and have a family, a big and loving family. And that I'm in Israel, and we are free people. That's my story.